he says, for example, maybe a piece of clay or something. But a lot of times we might see something that's blocking the skin from being wet. Could be paint. A lot of brothers paint. Could be paint on the skin. It's paint on the hands. Or it's paint on the arms. It's paint on some area that has to be washed for wudu. Or nail polish, for example. Nail polish is blocking the fingertips from the water from touching the fingertips. إِزَالَةُ مَا يَمْنَعُ وُصُولَهُ إِلَى الْبَشْرَةِ. Removing anything that would prevent the water from reaching the skin is another condition for the wudu. And it could be, like we said, maybe paint, could be fingernail polish for women if they're praying. If they're not praying, if a woman is on her menses, for example, and she's not praying, then she doesn't have to worry about the water getting to her hands because she's not making wudu for the salah anyway. But if a woman or a man has to pray, then we have to pay attention so that the salat is not invalid, so that the wudu is not invalid based on the water not reaching the proper areas. Al-Ashiru, the 10th one, دخول الوقت الصلاة في حق من حدثه الدائم. For the person who has some type of sickness where, for example, he's constantly or she is constantly urinating, maybe throughout the day, like it doesn't stop. I say dripping, for example. They might be urinating full, but maybe they have some dripping, constant, right? Or they keep passing gas, breaking winds, constant all day. They make wudu, they break, like it doesn't stop. This is a condition. It says, كَمَنْ عِنْدَهُ سَلَسُ الْبَوْلِ أو سَلَسُ الرِّيحِ, the one who constantly urinates like that, dripping, or breaks wind. فَإِذَا دَخَلَ الْوَقْتِ وَدَخُلَ الْوَقْتِ يُعْرَفْ بِالنِّدَاءِ لِلصَّلَاةِ. When the time for the salat comes, what this person does, he says, فَإِذَا نُودِيَ لِلصَّلَاةِ تَوَضَّأَ وَصَلَّى عَلَى حَالَ الَّتِي هُوَ عَلَيْهِ. So when it's time to pray, they make wudu and they just pray how they are. Meaning, once they make wudu, he or she, once they make wudu, they're going to break their wudu because they have the condition where they're always urinating or breaking wind. So it's going to break their wudu. But for this case, in this situation, they make wudu. They don't make wudu, number one, until it's time for the salah. They don't make wudu until it's time for the salah. So this is basically a case of necessity. A case of necessity. The salat doesn't come in until 7 o'clock. They don't make wudu at 6:30. They wait until the salat comes in. Last minute possible to make the wudu for the salat, for the person who has this condition. And then they pray just like that, how they are. He says, حتى وإن خرج شيء من الريح أو خرج شيء من البول فإنه لا تنتقد طهارته. Even if after he makes that wudu or she makes that wudu, something else comes out, it doesn't break their wudu because of their condition. They have no control of it. لأنه لا يملك ذلك. They have no control over that situation. This type of sickness, they have no control of it. Therefore, the ruling for them is that they pray based on, well, they don't make wudu until the time for the salat comes in. Once the adhan is called for that salat, then they make the wudu. They don't make wudu an hour ahead of time, and then they break the wudu, and then they just sit around and pray. When the time for the salat comes in, they make the wudu. He says, كما في حديث عائشة رضي الله عنها. He says, first he says, فحكمه حكم مستحاضة أمرها النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام وعليه السلام الله أن تتوضأ لكل صلاة. He said, this ruling is like the ruling of the woman who she has extra bleeding after the time of the menses. So her mens, for example, stays on for every month. Let's just say every month she's bleeding for 20 days every month. Right? When her mens comes, she bleeds for 20 days. Right? That means her menses have already stopped because the mens doesn't go over 15 days. could possibly be a long mint, so it goes to 15 days. After 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, she's still bleeding. That bleeding, that blood is not from her menses. It's called another type of blood. Right? That other type of blood is continuous. It's still coming. But being as though it's not from the menses, she takes this same hukum. What does she do? She makes wudu for every salah. Because the blood is still coming, but it's not mens blood. She might be sick. It could be anything. She could be sick. She could be injured in the womb. It could be anything. Some blood is still coming that's not from the menses. The mens blood prevents her from the salat and all the other things. The istihada, that blood, that type of blood doesn't prevent her from the salat and fasting. So what is she supposed to do? For every salat, she does the same thing. When it's time for the salat, when the adhan for that time comes, she makes wudu for every salat. And the blood will still be flowing during that time. But due to the condition, due to that condition, she's able to pray like that. In the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, when he commanded the woman who had this type of situation, he said, ثُمَّ تَوَضَّعِي لِكُلِّ صَلَاةٍ, and then make wudu for every salah. And then make wudu for every salah. He said, حَتَّى يَجِيَ ذَلِكَ الْوَقْتِ, when that time comes. You make wudu for every salah when that time comes. So these are the shurut al-wudu, the conditions for a person's wudu to be correct. طيب. Does, hey, question?
Before you go any further, I heard the 10 conditions you just mentioned.
Hey.
And I wanted to go back to somewhere around like 5.
طيب.
I think it is, where you mentioned the tamiz.
Tamyiz.
Tamyiz.
Hey, tamyiz.
Okay, would that be equivocal to mukallaf?
Mukallaf, la.
Okay.
La.
What's the difference between mukallaf and
Mumayyiz, tamyiz. Taklif and tamyiz. Al-mukallaf, we'll say, is baligh aqil. Al-mukallaf is baligh aqil. Al-mukallaf is the person who has reached the age of puberty, number one. And number two, that they have their sanity. Two things to be a mukallaf. You can't just be of the age of puberty, but you don't have your sanity. They're not mukallaf. Right? Person might be 15 or 20 and they don't have their sanity, so they're still not mukallaf. Or a person could have their sanity, right? They have their sanity, but they haven't reached the age of puberty. So a 9-year-old, he has his sanity, he's sane, he's cool, but he's 9. He hasn't reached the age of puberty yet, so he's not mukallaf. So mukallaf is one stage, which is with the signs of puberty. Either the child gets the signs of puberty, right? And along with those signs of puberty, they also have their sanity. They become mukallaf, let's say responsible. They're accountable. They're accountable for their actions now. If they miss the salat, they're accountable for that. If they miss days fasting during Ramadan, they're accountable for that once they're mukallaf. Al-mumayyiz, tamyiz, is the age of they're able to distinguish right from wrong. The brain has reached a point of capacity where they can distinguish, okay, this is good, this is not good. This is, I'm going to pray the salat, this is dhuhr, there are 4 rak'ah, that's my niyyah, I'm praying the dhuhr. They're able to actually bring things put things in their proper place, so to speak. Anything under 7, they're not able to do that, based on the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, when he said, command your kids to pray at 7. So the ulama say that command shows that at that point they're able to understand and distinguish. So the age of tamyiz is taken from that, and they say the age of 7 is the age of tamyiz. They're able to distinguish. But that doesn't mean that they're mature. They reach the age of puberty. So puberty is a little later, right? Al-mumayyiz is earlier, right? Anything under mumayyiz, they can't formulate or yaqil. They're not able to even distinguish of what an intention is. And some of the ulama's khilaf if it's exactly the age of 7. Could be a little earlier, sure, it could be a little later. But 7 is one of the famous positions that is held.
Okay. The second one that I heard you mention was, I think it was like around 8, I believe. You were talking about the water.
There you go.
Okay, so on that one, I didn't hear mention of, you used an analogy of someone getting a bottle of water, but you didn't mention whether or not that water is standing water, or are they, like I've known, they pour the water from the bottle and someone's pouring it for you and you're making the water has to be flowing.
Does the water have to be flowing?
Flowing, right. This I've heard that the water has to be moving, flowing from a faucet, or I hold the bottle and someone pours it. Was that a fact? Or have you, in your experiences and in your travels,
The water has to be flowing.
has the water been in a bowl and you just use the water, you use the water from the bowl?
The water, flowing water is related to tayyib. That issue is if a person, say for example, a person, there's a tub of water that people are making wudhu out of, right? They're pulling water out and making wudhu out of the tub of water. So they might stand in front of the tub of water and they're making wudhu out of the water. Tayyib, it might be more than one person. Tayyib, a person comes from out of town, they don't know, they come. It might sound crazy here because we don't experience this type of stuff, but you go to some parts of the world, it's not set up like this. So a person comes and he urinates in that tub that the people make wudhu out of. Right? You with me? At that point, it's a lot of issues going on. How much water is in the container? Because now, can the people make wudhu from that water or not? It depends. How much water is in the container? Number 2, is the water running or not? Right? That's the issue you're talking about. If a person were to put something that is impure in that water that's standing still. There's a difference between water standing still and running water if you're talking about putting something that's impure inside of it. You with me? So a person comes from out of town and they urinate in that tub of water. A couple things got to be looked at. How much water is in the tub? Is the water running, or is it just standing still in the tub? I mean, is the water coming from somewhere else and it's flowing out? Or is it just a tub stopped with a bunch of water in it? At that point, the issue of running water or still water could be looked at. But as far as wudhu, the issue I'm talking about is a regular water bottle. Somebody go in a store, or they just take a water bottle and they don't pay for it. Brother selling waters outside, a brother walk by and he just grabs a water bottle, throws it in his car. Later on he's traveling, he pulls that same water bottle out to make wudhu with it. Right? That's the issue we're talking about. The water is pure. There's no problem with the water. There's nothing in it. It's brand new water. He takes it out and he makes wudhu. That issue there. The issue you're talking about is if somebody came and put something in it. If something impure comes in the water. You with me?
Yes. Okay. Well, I can understand that. Like, I work in like construction type environments a lot, and oftentimes you're in an abandoned house or whatever, and there is no water, so you have to use water from the bottle, and the only way you're gonna get the water out the bottle is to pour it.
That's no problem.
That's not a problem.
No.